It's national meets regional. Welcome to Sidewalks Entertainment, the long-running celebrity, music, and art series. Join us now for an exciting new path to celebrity interviews, music, rising talents, and much, much more.
Our three guests today are acting in television's first polyromantic comedy who are back for another season of throupling in the show You, Me, Her. We have actors Greg Poehler, Rachel Blanchard, and Priscilla Faia join us on Sidewalks. Welcome to the show. How are you guys?
Hi, good, thanks. How are you?
Having us.
We're excited over here in San Francisco and really glad to have you all here. I wish we had like hours to talk with you guys because you guys are really amazing, interesting actors, and there's so much to learn about you guys.
That's very kind. Thanks.
In more time, yeah.
We have time, so if you want to go for like the entire hour, we can do
grab
it.
a cocktail. We'll make a meal of this.
Yeah.
There
Start
you
from
go.
the beginning.
Oh, yeah, start from the beginning. Well, before we get into having our cocktails, we wanted to talk about you guys and your road to acting. You know, briefly, if we can start off with the ladies. Rachel, you've been in the business for, for some time, probably since like you were 8 years old, and people remembered you from TV's Clueless and Seventh Heaven. Is that correct?
Yep, I started acting as a kid in Canada, which was a really different experience from acting, being a Hollywood child actor. It was sort of, I played hockey, I danced ballet, and I acted, and those were kind of my main activities. And then I was going to give it up when I went to university, and I got a call from my agent to audition for Clueless. And I hadn't seen the movie. I didn't really know what it was because way back then, movies weren't. I was backpacking throughout Europe at the time it came out, and they came out at different times. And then I got the job and flew out to LA, and then started my American portion of my career.
That's right. That's right. Now moving on to Priscilla, fans know you from Rookie Blue. I mean, you had diehard fans for Rookie Blue.
Yeah, they're the best.
and almost like Rachel, you started at around the same age too, is around maybe 8 or 9 years old, or was it even younger than that?
My experience was a little bit very different than Rachel's. That I'm from a small town, and so there wasn't a whole lot going on. I was taking acting classes because I just loved being an actor, and I loved performing. And I figure skated and danced as well in Canada. And so I wasn't working professionally as a kid like Rachel was. It was only when I got older and moved to Vancouver and pursued it professionally that I started working. And then, I was dabbling around different shows, popping in, and then I got Rookie Blue, and it was an amazing experience. And I was in Toronto for a few years, and then I got this, and I'm so grateful. It's been such a ride.
Yeah. I mean, all of you have had like a really interesting ride, and also just really interesting characters. And as we move on to our next actor, Greg Poehler, before hitting it big with Welcome to Sweden, you were actually a lawyer, and then you became a stand-up comedian. Tell us about this. How did this all happen for you?
When I was younger, I didn't skate and I didn't dance, and I wasn't living in Canada. And I started at 38 and not 8, so we have a very different journey. I was a lawyer for 12 years in New York, and then I moved to Sweden with my wife. And then, weirdly, just started doing stand-up as kind of a bucket list item. And then wrote the script for Welcome to Sweden based on my life, and now here we are. So it's been a whirlwind few years.
Yeah. Well, obviously, people are when we talk about Greg Poehler, we hear Amy Poehler. Obviously, your sister might have a little bit of influence.
I'll be honest, I've never heard that.
You've never heard that. You're like, who is that
brought
girl?
It up. Yeah. I'm unfamiliar. Can you tell me a few things she's been in? I'm unfamiliar with her work.
I know. There's some show, Saturday Night Live. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Now I remember her. Yes.
I'm sure she's influenced you a little bit growing up. I mean, just like brothers and sisters do. We're like, I'm never going to do what you do when you grow up. And then, hey, here you are.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about it is because I had this whole other life and career before I got into this business. I think it would be different if I had been trying to act my entire life. I think there'd be more of like a competition, a sibling rivalry. But
Yeah.
since I was so late to the game, I always have that as my excuse. Like, oh, wait, I got my own show on my first try. How long did it take you to get an NBC show? So if you look at, I could be winning if you look at it.
Well, and she wanted to be a lawyer for a while, didn't she?
Right, yeah, she was the worst lawyer
ever.
She was
going to be
by
an
the way,
attorney.
so I'm winning that.
That's hilarious. You just said there's no competition, and you're like, oh, I'm winning.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
winning.
no competition, but if there was, you could argue that I'm
Right.
winning. So, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's totally right. But I mean, you guys are both pretty funny, so you guys are both doing pretty well, I think.
Thank you for agreeing that I'm winning.
Well, now, obviously the three of you together in the show You, Me, Her are it's starring, you're starring in You, Me, Her. So to be honest, when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, what is this show about? Are they really talking about, is this polygamy? Like, what is this? And so I'm just curious, tell us briefly about your characters for those who haven't seen it, who've been under a rock, because now you're going into your next season. I want to know a little bit about the characters.
Yeah, I think we're just exploring polyamory more than polygamy because our relationship happens to show a man and two women, but in the community that we're sort of dipping our toes in, it can take many different shapes and forms, the relationships. I play Emma, and Jack, played by Greg Poehler, and I have been married for years. We're kind of at that 7-year itch, and then we both happen to fall in love unexpectedly with the same person, Izzy, played by Priscilla Faia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I play Izzy. I'm a college grad student, and in the first season we see her. She's kind of moonlights as an escort, a very bad one, but nonetheless, just for some money on the side. And she gets hired by Jack because he's trying to shake things up, and he ends up falling for me. Emma finds out, hires me behind Jack's back. She falls for me, and so then Izzy just kind of jumps into this unknown territory with these two people that she really is starting to care for. And so in season 2, we watch them struggle with what regular two people relationships struggle with. And then in season 3, we leave off. Emma's in Seattle. And Jack and Izzy are now living together without her, and what does that look like? And finding ourselves within this 3-person relationship, even with Emma gone. Yeah.
I think that what we hear most from fans of the show is that it's unexpected. It's not what they expected when they tuned in the sense that it's a real portrayal of real people who just find themselves in this situation. They weren't necessarily looking for it. So I think that's what's appealing about the show is it's a really honest depiction of what a polyamorous relationship can look like, and whether such relationships are viable. We're not really trying to make a statement on. We're just kind of portraying this one and seeing what happens.
And I think that, sorry, I was just going to say that I think that there's, like you said, there's a common misconception when you hear about the show, like, oh, is it going to be gratuitous? Is it just a man and 2 women and it's about sex? And it's the complete opposite of that. And that's what we're really proud of, is that the show is based on really real things within this dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny because at first I was like, this is a guy's dream come true.
Yeah. It turns out it's a guy's nightmare.
Yeah. It's a guy's nightmare though, right?
Yeah, it turns out to be.
Instead of one, you get 2. Now, for you guys, really quick, even though you are actors in the project, do you guys get a chance to get feedback, or do you guys help out with the script or with any of the shooting? Because I know now actors are collaborating in more ways than just as actors. Is there something where you guys are able to do more than just doing the acting?
Well, I feel like they are the creator of the show, John Scott Shepherd. He talks to us at the start of every season, but the script is written beforehand. We shoot out of sequence, so a lot of it needs to be predetermined as well, or else it will take us forever to get anything done.
Right.
I also do the catering on the show, so
great catering.
I try to be valuable, and I'm always.
Of course, we get opportunity to have some feedback in terms of our scenes. If something is not feeling right, or if we have ideas, John's always really open to hearing those. And yeah, we're a great team. I feel we're really great collaborators, and it's a really fun place to work.
Yeah. Well, the three of you have been together for a few years now. And just briefly before we let you go, because we only have a few seconds left, what have you learned about your co-star that totally surprised you that you were not expecting? Starting with maybe Rachel. Or Greg, whoever.
Oh God, that's a hard one. I don't even know.
You're like, what?
Greg is a big, soft, molten cookie. He's, yeah, he's like, no, like emotionally.
Oh my.
Like he's
Can we cut this?
yeah, he's really lovely and really lovely and.
Why is that
Likes to sing
unexpected?
and he likes to sing and dance.
No, like you're you know what I mean? Like you're just really emotionally.
Priscilla's really clumsy. I'm going to say.
Yes, I'm very
Priscilla's
clumsy.
really clumsy.
Yes, I'm emotionally something.
Emotionally really sensitive.
Available?
And I love it.
Thank you. And that's unexpected?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Ditto, that's it.
Yeah. And Rachel comes up with the best one-liners that are so funny that come out of nowhere that are hysterical.
Rachel's the most unintentionally funny person that
Really?
Yes.
I don't know if that's a compliment. It sounds good back into compliment.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are, all three of you are surprised to us. Thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to more of You, Me, Her. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks to our guests, Rachel, Greg, and Priscilla for joining us on that interview. You can see more of You, Me, Her on DirecTV's channel 239.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.